Hello, this is the second video in the Larson Financial Services consultation episode in conjunction with CharityNetwork.com, and we hope you enjoyed the first video. I hope you'll enjoy this one too. I think you'll find that all the videos that we put out should be pretty easy to understand. They're pretty easy to apply conceptually, but there may be some practice discipline-wise that we need to use to be able to really move them. But over the course of the 3 months, maybe even there'd be some time to actually practice discipline, so that by the end of it, you'll be able to really benefit from our consultation session, that $250 consultation session that we're providing. And of course, after the 3 months is over, we really won't be able to extend that in connection with this campaign. It's just too costly for us to do that. But up until then, that's open to you. And again, just don't use it frivolously, please. You could really benefit from it. But what we want to talk about in this video is just basically three main areas of responsible financial management, and trying to open up a general awareness to these things. And I think that some people are kind of afraid of finances because it seems overwhelming to them, like they don't have the capacities to handle it. And certainly not many of us are like financial analysts, and that is a big, complicated mess. But fortunately, we don't have to worry about that. We look at our own financial microcosm, and nothing within that should ever overwhelm you, should ever frighten you to where you're afraid to really engage your financial life, grab it by its horns and wrestle it down into a condition that you are in control of it rather than the other way around. So again, we're going to basically talk about three areas. The first one has to do with I think we mentioned it before, how our assets, how our income and our assets, how controlling those relates to the building of assets and the reduction of debt. That's very important. We're going to talk about that. That'll be probably the first subject of focus on our next video. The second area that we need to look at is retirement. And many people in our society do not think of retirement, don't really consider it until they start getting frightened, which is really around the age 40 or 50. And by then, they can still pull it off maybe, but you know, some of the things that they've fallen back on, if they've neglected that part of their life, they've been falling back on, number one, Social Security, and number two, pensions. And these have been sort of the fail-safes of a person who doesn't plan well. And those should not probably be making people feel so safe anymore, because they look like they're failing. Pensions look like they're beginning to fail that system, and Social Security looks like it may be failing also. And so they should not make us feel that safe anymore. And so it becomes more imperative, doesn't it, to think about what can we do on our side to do that. I mean, to prepare for that. And it would be better. Can you imagine if you don't prepare until you have to retire, until you can't work anymore? Wouldn't it be better to be prepared while you can still work? And then you can quit if you want, but you don't have to. You can keep working. I mean, you see what I'm saying, and the implications of that for your families as well as for you personally. And so retirement is a major issue that we need to look at. And again, this comes down to having a little bit extra at the end of the month, enough. Of course, if you're 50 by the time you start, then you better have a lot at the end of the month to prepare. But if you're 20, 25, boy, a little bit every month, it would go a long way with the compound effect, compound interest in this sort of thing, the power of that. Okay, so that's the second thing we're going to look at. The third thing has to do with these catastrophic occurrences that happen, that they come along in our lives. So hopefully only once or twice in the entire life. Hopefully none at all. But some people, you notice, really get clobbered. I mean, whether they're in their car or whether they're in their house and something happens, whether they get a health problem that just totally decimates them. We've all seen that, sadly. Or whether it's a life issue, and maybe the major breadwinner in the family passes on, and the rest of the family is left struggling with a huge problem, earnings problem. And so these are insurance-related items. Those are our best tools as far as protecting ourselves from these matters. And these are the three main areas of financial life that we all should consider. Okay, so do you remember what they are? The one is our income, expenses related to our asset and debt, and how we can work that. Secondly, it's our retirement situation and looking at our future. So savings and retirement. And the third thing is planning for catastrophes, planning for these big events that hopefully don't come along. But you know, we don't like to meditate and think about them, but we are wise to prepare for these things. And so again, we wanted to lay out just these three. I know it's a short, simple video, I know, but we wanted to lay out these three main areas for you to think about. And again, we'll cover these sort of in order. It may take more than 3 videos to cover them, but we want to go through them carefully, give you a real good feel for the issues involved, and we want to provide practical things, you know, suggestions, fundamental things that anyone can apply in their life and actually begin to put these matters in order. So we appreciate your attention to this, and we really do. We respect, if you're watching this, your desire to take responsibility for your life and not let things just drift. And so we respect that in you, and we appreciate your attention here. And we hope to talk to you again very soon. Thank you.